All right, everybody, welcome. I'm Coach Bess, founder of Fresh Start, and I am so excited that you are here today or that you're viewing this as a recording. We have an amazing guest with us today on our Fresh Living Chat. So these chats are all about how we can live fresh, find more natural ways to better our lifestyle, better the way we feel without more of the things that are unnatural and take us away from that. So I'm super excited to introduce and welcome you to this this cast today with Angela Agranoff. And if I said your last name wrong, girl, I'm sorry. This is Angela, and she's going to tell us a little bit more about herself. But before she does, I just want to tell you that she is a ray of sunshine. So if you want to connect with her, and we'll, of course, give you opportunity throughout the chat, please do connect with her on her websites, which we are going to be putting down below the recording, as well as sharing in the group. So I want you guys to know how to connect with her because she's going to put a bright light in your life, and we all need more of that these days. But Angela, go ahead, tell us a little bit more about you and why you're passionate about EFT. But a little more about you first.
Okay. Thanks, Bess, for having me on. This is kind of cool to get together and tap together. But yes, my name is Angela. I'm a wife and a mother of three. I have a 21-year-old in college, just turned 21, and I have twin 15-year-olds that are freshmen in high school. So that's kind of a chunk of what I do right there.
That's why you tap.
That's right. Lots of tapping. And I love that. I love staying at home for my family, and I work from home. And a few years ago, I guess when the kids maybe were even in kindergarten and third grade, I found this profession online when I was searching for something to do working from home of professional organizing. And I've always loved the idea of organizing, and I just couldn't even believe that there was such a thing that people could make a career out of. And so over the years, I've either gone to clients' homes to help them, or I've done speaking engagements. But in the last few years, I've just brought my business entirely online. So I blog and I write books about professional organizing. And through that adventure, I came across this thing called EFT, Emotional Freedom Technique, otherwise known as tapping, and learned how I could incorporate that into my writing and helping others. And just a year ago, I started a new pet project, My Refreshed Soul, which is more geared towards kind of what you talk about with your group, with making healthy choices and healthy living. So I'm incorporating the tapping into both blogs because I feel like it connects to both topics.
Oh, that's so awesome. And so tell us real quickly first now where we can find you online, and then we'll review that later.
Okay. You can find me at theunclutterangel.com. And you can also find me at myrefreshedsoul.com.
Awesome. So, because we need to do that. We need to connect with you. I want these people to see why I love being in your space and why I learned so much from you. And I know we're about to do that, and I hope you guys cannot hear my obnoxious dryer. Guys, shut the dryer. This is our life, right? Okay, so what was I going to ask you first, though? Please tell us a little bit, Angela, and then we're going to talk about how this kind of applies to holidays for just a couple minutes, but I do like that this is such a good thing to talk about year-round. Tell us what EFT actually is.
So again, EFT stands for Emotional Freedom Technique. Some people call it tapping, and it's kind of like acupuncture for the mind, psychological acupuncture. And it's basically, Eastern medicine has said that we get past memories and emotions stuck in our body. And, you know, our bodies are just, energy, lots of energy. And when we have things that happen in our lives, whether it's trauma-based, stress, anxiety, things like that, as you know, it can affect you emotionally and physically.
Yes.
And so tapping has been shown, they are doing studies on it, and I've seen some incredible stories of people in the military that have come back from war, children who live in Africa whose families have been murdered, and tapping actually has been very effective for them.
Wow.
So it helps both emotionally and physically by tapping on different points along our meridian.
Okay. So I know you're going to take us through that. You're actually going to show us how to today on how to do what you're talking about, which is great because I'm a visual touch learner. So I'm excited to do this with you. But before we do, let's talk about, you actually wrote an article for us on our Fresh Start blog, which is so amazing. Still getting lots of readers because I think anxiety and finding relief for anxiety are such a hot, needed, necessary topic because of the lifestyles we're leading, the pace of life we're leading, the challenges we face. And I think, personally, the overstimulation that we're surrounded by these days. I really believe a lot of my anxiety comes from jumping from phone to computer to kids to work to dogs to, and I don't know, would you agree with that overstimulation is one of our problems?
I do, and especially as women and moms, I think, at least I feel out of balance sometimes. So tapping can help us to kind of get back into balance. I mean, first and foremost at the top, I have to say is definitely prayer. Like that is my go-to at any moment, any time of the day. But I think tapping can be that second step to where, you can use it while you're praying or
deeper prayer.
Yes, thoughts. It's kind of like when you go get a massage and you just really feel different after you get a massage. It's almost like a lot of things have been released, not just physically, the knots in your back or the pains, but emotionally, I think that we feel different when we have a massage. And this is kind of that same feeling that you can get after tapping.
Okay. So, all right. So talk to us about, let's cover the holidays really quickly, and then we'll jump into you actually showing us how to do this. But with the holidays, with the additional stress that we're all under with, I don't know, maybe it's because we do have a bigger to-do list this time of year. Maybe it's just emotional. I know for me, the family stuff with the extended family can sometimes get stressful and overwhelming. How do you have a special method for us for the holidays? Like, how can we use EFT to help us with that additional load?
Sure. I agree. During the holidays, it seems like there is just so much going on. And like you were saying, just getting out of balance. And for me, I think even just this last weekend, it's like the beginning of December. And it's like, holy cow, this is just too much. So I believe that tapping can help with anxiety to just kind of get us centered back into place and kind of bring our anxiety down and bring us down into a more calm state and even give us some clarity as to what are our most important things that we want to focus on. Sometimes we have these distractions, and tapping can kind of help us get centered again. And it's just such a simple process that there's just no reason why you can't do it at any time, especially when you're I don't know, I guess you could even do it at the mall if you're running around the mall shopping.
If you don't mind, right? If you don't mind.
Yeah. Yes, but
maybe you'd end up doing a last minute teaching right there in the mall.
That's right.
They're going to want to know what you're doing. Okay, so
for some people, though, I understand that Christmas and the holidays can also be stressful, not just with the activities, but when you think about all the relationships. There's so many different relationships that surface that maybe throughout the year have been estranged, or maybe they've been for years, and maybe Christmas time or the holidays is either the one time you're around certain people you're not usually around, or you're missing certain people, or the loss of somebody. And tapping can really help with the anxiety, or I don't know, just that not having that clarity of why am I feeling this way, especially it's the holidays and I'm supposed to be excited and happy, and at least that's what we're told. So
okay, that is so good. Okay, so take us through, show us first the basics of EFT. Take us through that when you talk
Yes.
about the meridian. What is the meridian? Show us what you would show a new person.
Yes, it's just the meridian, and I am an EFT practitioner. I got certified, I think about 5 years ago, but there's certainly different levels of practitioners. And so for me, I keep it super basic because I don't want to lose people and
Thank
big
you.
words. And, yeah, because that's me. It's like, talk to me like I'm 5.
Yeah.
So I just would like to show maybe the tapping points. And the one thing I want to say straight out of the gate is this is so simple. It's nothing to get stressed about or worried about. You can't do it wrong. You can't hurt yourself unless you tap too hard, which you won't. So there's no worries of making a mistake or anything like that. So the parts that I like to tap on are the crown, the top of your head, and the eyebrow. So just basically that bone right there where your eyebrow is.
All my fingers?
Yep. I like to do 2. And that's the other thing. There's no wrong way to do it. Some people just do one side. Some people do, 2, like 1 on each eyebrow.
Wow.
I've seen people just do it right in the center. My habit has always been this. Then the side of the eye. So you can choose 1 or 2 hands. So there's like that little bone right there on the side of the eye. Okay. And then under the eye, there's a little bone right there. Just don't have to tap very hard. And then under the nose. And then the chin, there's like a little shelf right here where you can tap on the chin.
And when you say tap, are we just like 3-4 times? Like what's the...
Yeah, I would say 5 to 7 times.
5 to 7? Okay.
Yeah, and it's just the tip of your fingers.
Oh.
Just a little fleshy part. I don't know, you could do this. You're welcome to do this side. I just happen to do the ends.
Okay.
And then collarbone, some people call it the bow tie, but you have these 2 little knobs right here, the 2 bones. So I just do like a little, how do I turn that?
Like a little
C.
Yeah.
And I just tap on those 2 little bones there. That's the collarbone.
Cool.
And then under the arm is kind of, 3 or 4 inches underneath, from your armpit, kind of where your bra strap is, and just tap. Can you see
that's that? That's a little jiggly on me.
Yeah. Yeah. This is not my favorite spot when I do tapping rounds. I go live sometimes on my page, and it's like, I go back and watch, and it's like, oh my gosh, I'm doing this.
You look amazing, Hush.
Yeah. And so I actually showed you the last spot that I do, which is the crown. And we just kind of go round and round. And so when I do tapping rounds, when I go live on my page, or if you can find me on YouTube, I'll usually start with the karate chop point, which is right this kind of fleshy part right here on the side of your hand. And I just tap right there. And when I tap here, I'm tapping to a statement or a mantra that I'll come up with, which is really my focus statement. What it is that I want to focus on at this moment, the anxiety, the stress, the worry, the pain, whatever it is. And I'll just say a few sentences, and then I go and I do the rounds, and I usually do it 3 times around. But again, there's no like one set way to do it, in my opinion.
How do we come up with what to say?
So I think that's why people come to, because anybody can do this, but I know that some people don't feel comfortable coming up with things to say, and that's something that I love to do. That's stuff that I love to write about. I love coming up with what comes to my mind. And so what I will say is, and if you go to Bess's blog, you'll see my post on there, and it'll give you some better ideas. You can see it visually how it's written out, but it's really just stating what it is you're going through, and just accepting yourself that, even though I feel this way, whatever it is, fill in the blank, I still care about myself. It's still okay. And I feel like too, it kind of intertwines in with prayer and God, because it's, even though I messed up here, even though I feel this way, even though maybe I'm not trusting you the way that I should. I know that you still love me anyways. And so we can say that for ourselves. But
So almost it's like putting a little bit of surrender physically to the surrender in our words. To me, it feels almost like a little surrender. Like,
yeah,
okay,
that's a great word.
Yeah, like I'm not, and I'm not whatever you were doing here, but I'm okay, and he's got me, and he's in charge, and he's in control. I don't know. To me, it feels like almost surrender.
Right. Well, I think that feels good probably in most cases where if we're holding on to something.
Yeah.
It's just that confession is.
That's where my anxiety comes from, when I'm trying to control craziness. Yeah. So, okay, so give us just, maybe even just take it from the article if you want, but give us a little example script and show us one round of how you would use. Do you mind doing that? Are you okay with doing that on here?
Well, I think you have to do it with me, Bess.
Oh, okay. I can do that.
Yeah. Okay. So let's and I'm just going to, let's do it on the holidays, or just maybe the time of year, the anxiety that we feel with. I'm just going to come up with it out of my head because sometimes it just works out better that way.
Okay.
So that I'm not reading a script.
So I repeat after you? Am I doing it along with you, but I repeat it after you? Okay.
Just repeat after me, so it's easy peasy.
Okay.
And I'll pause, and you can just repeat after me. So we'll start on this spot here it's called the karate chop point. And you don't have to do it that hard, and I'll come up with some statements. So even though I feel anxious about the upcoming holidays.
Even though I feel anxious about the upcoming holidays.
I deeply and completely love and accept myself.
I deeply and completely love and accept myself.
Even though I have no idea why I get so anxious about the holidays.
Even though I have no idea why I get so anxious about the holidays.
I deeply and completely love and accept myself.
I deeply and completely love and accept myself.
Even though I'd like to release all this anxiety, but I still keep holding on to it.
Even though I'd like to release all of this anxiety, but I keep holding on to it.
I deeply and completely love and accept myself right now.
I deeply and completely love and accept myself right now.
Good job. So let's take it to the eyebrows. You can do one hand, you can do two hands. Just thinking about the holidays coming up. Take it to the side of the eye.
Oh, just thinking about the holidays coming up.
Mm-hmm. It makes my body feel uncomfortable.
It makes my body feel uncomfortable.
The anxiety, it affects me physically.
The anxiety affects me physically.
And then under the nose, I really want to release this anxiety.
I really want to release this anxiety.
Take it to the chin. This really doesn't feel good.
This really doesn't feel good.
And honestly, I don't even know what's making me feel anxious.
And honestly, I don't even know what it is making me feel anxious.
And then take it under the arm. I want to release this anxiety.
I want to release this anxiety.
On top of the head. I know if I can release this anxiety, I'm going to feel better.
I know if I can release this anxiety, I'm going to feel better.
Now take a deep breath. So that was just a tiny round, and you could tell, I was really coming off the top of my head, but sometimes I find as I'm tapping, it's like things that are popping into my mind.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because nothing was coming to me for that. So that probably means I'm in good check, but I understand with some other people it may not. So that's why I kind of added in, I'm feeling it physically and I'm not really sure what it is. And I just want to let it go because maybe we can't name what it is that's upsetting us. But what's really super cool is if you keep doing tapping rounds, even if you can't place your finger on it, you may, after doing a few rounds, be able to figure out, oh yeah, it's because I'm supposed to go to this party, or so-and-so is coming to stay with us for a few days. And boy, that feels really awesome when you can name it and then release it.
Yeah, I could see this being really helpful for a daughter of mine who tells me all the time, I don't know why I'm so anxious. I could see this being a way for her to figure out her triggers.
Right.
You know, she's 14, so she's struggled with anxiety her entire life since she was a baby. And she says it. She's like, for no reason, I have a wonderful life. And I'm like, it's not, honey, it's your physical, it's the way you manifest stress. And we've just got to keep finding ways. So this could be so amazing in her life. Yeah.
And kids are open to it. I have done this with my kids, especially when I was getting certified. You have to have people
practice
to work with. So I was like, great, kids, here we go. And they're funny, but they're open to it. And you know, so yes, that would be a good tool to use with her. And journaling is kind of cool too, that as you go through these rounds, if you write down kind of some things that pop up for you, because then you can go back and tap on those things. You don't have to remember what came up for you, and just kind of, you know, keep a little checklist, because you know, this stuff can take time. Yeah.
Okay, here's my question too. If we're out and about and we want to tap like this to relieve stress or whatever, do we say stuff out loud? Is it okay to not say it out loud? Like, what?
Yeah. You don't want to do this while you're standing in line?
Not really.
Yeah.
So what do you suggest we do?
There's a gentleman, I'm trying to remember his name. He recently changed his name, and he really inspired me. He's on YouTube as well. And I'm going to have to think about his name, and I'll get back to you on that. But his program is called Faster EFT. And I was kind of inspired by that because, you know, this can be a lot of extra. I mean, this is even kind of a simplified version of what I showed you, because there are some people that tap, you know, on their hands and all kinds of places. But he can have people even just tap on the collarbone. And I do like to do this. This can be very, very calming. It's kind of like if some people get a headache. Have you ever seen them do this? You know, it's just soothing. So it's really kind of the same thing. You can do your collarbone, or you could just do the side of your hand. And that's what I've told my kids in the past.
Yeah.
They probably don't listen to me, but I was like, you could do this under your desk, you know. But this gentleman has even said you could picture tapping in your mind and just tell yourself whatever it is you want to release and let go. Yeah.
I'm trying to remember who it was, but when my son was in high school, they taught them some kind of tapping. Someone came in and taught them for test anxiety. And he, to this day, but he does it on the table. So his fingers are on the table and it goes like that, which could be obnoxious to people. And it sometimes makes me want to tap like this because, but he said, Mom, it feels like it lets it go out his fingers. And so I don't know, that's his thing. So he learned that in high school. So I know there's got to be different ideas that work. I think, like you said, I think it's the intention.
And so here, even just here on the collarbone is pretty simple. Or just right here on the side. I've done this sitting at a light, tapping. But again, I can even just do it in my mind, and I can just think in my mind, you know, if you're just right here and you're thinking in your head, I just want to release and let that go. What stress of the traffic, whatever, release and let it go, release and let it go.
Yes.
And take a deep breath and let it go with your breath. So
that's
definitely can simplify it.
Was there any other routine or ideas that you wanted to share with us, Angela? I don't want to cut you off from what you're sharing.
No, I think that that gives a pretty good overview, and I do have a YouTube page. So if there's more
That's great.
detail that you would like to,
Yeah. Tell us
I think there's
what
a
do we put in
video
the
in
search?
that blog post too. I think that
Oh,
goes
that's
over
right.
the
And
detail.
so we can find your station through there. But tell us do you have like a name on your YouTube channel if we put in the search bar? Just put your name?
It's the same as the blogs, but My Refreshed Soul is where the EFT
Okay.
videos are. And
Okay.
yeah.
So we'll find you on YouTube. I'll put that link. When I publish this recording, I'll put all the links so that you guys, those of you who are watching the recording, you'll be able to connect with and find Angela. And because she's constantly writing and bringing new, what is it, scripts, materials? What do you bring new for us to keep following?
Yes, I've taken a slight reprieve from doing live. Sometimes I go on live on my Facebook page, so you can
Okay.
find me on Facebook for My Refreshed Soul. I really enjoy that, going on, and if I think, sometimes I'll just think of a topic and I'll go on and do a couple tapping rounds. So you can even go on My Refreshed Soul on Facebook and see some tapping scripts on there, or me demonstrating that.
Okay.
But also
Perfect.
on my website, I do have a bunch of scripts on the website, and I'm happy to answer any questions if you ever want to email me questions and I can clarify.
Oh, that's awesome. That's so awesome. Thank you so much, Angela, for showing us this. I think this is invaluable for many of us. Like I said, I'm going to get my 14-year-old daughter to watch this. We were just
Oh,
talking about it this morning, so this is a godsend.
that's cool.
Uh, yeah, I know, because I think you as well as us, we want to, as much as possible, find the natural, strategic, cognitive, behavioral stuff that we can do. We all know that that's the best way to deal with anxiety and stress. And even the experts say that. Try the cognitive stuff first. And this is definitely cognitive.
Right.
Exactly what this is. So definitely want to get her to watch this. But thank you so much for giving your time this morning to
Oh,
us.
sure. Thank you for having me.
Appreciate you. Appreciate your article. It keeps getting read and shared, and
Oh,
it's going to be a resource for forever.
my pleasure.
Thank you so much. We'll put all your links below so you guys can connect with her. So be looking for that. Thank you, Angela. We'll talk to you soon.
Okay. Bye-bye.